Hi everybody, welcome to a Facebook Live with Jeannie. I'm Jeannie Nielsen, the Card Lady, and I'm so excited to be here today. It has been a long time. I haven't seen you since last year. Poor joke, I know. Actually, it has been a long time, even last year. I worked the day before Christmas Eve, so I couldn't go live that week, and the following week I was away. That was last week, right before New Year's. So here I am today with a great card class for this Thursday night, and you can get this card class to go just by placing a $35 order. I don't think you'd want to just place a $35 order though. I think you want to place a $60 order so you can get this great paper that I'm going to be featuring today in my card class. I am only going to show you 3 of the 4 cards, mostly because I still haven't quite finished my 4th card. My 4th card is an easy card, but this week and this year I decided one day of the month, one card class, I am going to feature fancy fold cards. There is one week that I'm going to feature technique cards, and then there is one week that I'm going to feature birthday cards. And the 4th week is kind of up in the air. It's probably going to be product based, featuring a specific suite or bundle or something like that. Actually, it's going to be my craft along now that I think about it. The 4th week is going to be my craft along. The 5th week will be something special. I haven't sent out my email yet, but this month's craft along is going to feature the Everyday Skies designer paper. It's a 6x6 pack of designer paper. You'll get half a pack of the designer paper. The Everyday Arches stamp set and die bundle. And the arches are really, really cool, and I think you're going to love the cards and the 3D item we come up with. So anyway, let's get right to work. You can join me and watch the replay later. I love comments from all of you. I'll respond to all of them. Maybe not in real time because I am going to be working the next 4 days at the hospital. So unless you join me live and I happen to notice the comment, I probably won't be able to respond to it until tonight or sometime in the evening the next 4 days. Still, I want you to like the video. I want you to leave me comments, and I'm so excited to be here. Let's get right to what we're going to be featuring. I decided that I was going to feature a specific stamp set. This is a stamp set that I pre-ordered, and I'm going to also feature it with this beautiful, beautiful paper. This paper is Sale-a-bration paper. It's Bloom Impressions. If you like Monet like I do, I love his paintings. This reminds me of that. It's very impressionist, very watercolor-like. I don't know, it's really cool paper. And I love all the colors. And since I have my open pack over there, let's just open this and show you these patterns real quick. I haven't made my paper sampler yet, but let me just take these all out and see what we can do. Okay, so this is the first paper. Beautiful. On the back, it has a nice Lost Lagoon muted, like a sky, you know, a cloudy sky. Love that. So that's the first paper. There are so many colors in this paper, of course. There's Blueberry Bushel, there's Melon Mambo, there's Shy Shamrock. What else do I see? Blackberry Bliss, Petunia Pop, Crushed Curry, Pumpkin Pie, maybe even Daffodil Delight. Hard to say. So many colors. Very, very pretty. This is the next one, and you're going to see this in my fancy fold card. Love this paper. It reminds me of lilacs. It's my favorite flower. My absolute favorite flower are lilacs. So this color has maybe, I don't think it's Berry Burst. I think it's really more like Petunia Pop and Blackberry Bliss. And you're going to see a card, a fancy fold card that I'm going to make with that. On the back, this is kind of a mix of the 2 of them. Again, that sky, that cloudy sky. I don't know how else to describe that. Oops. This is one of my favorites. I love yellow. I absolutely adore yellow. So pretty. Has Pumpkin Pie, maybe Shy Shamrock, Daffodil Delight, and then on the back it has Peach Pie. So I think you could even get Peach Pie out of the front, but Peach Pie on the back, and I really like that. This color This one has both Peach Pie and Melon Mambo with Shy Shamrock, very pretty. And on the back, again, we have those flowers that remind me of lilacs or hydrangea petals or something like that. This is in the Lost Lagoon again. And there is a Lost Lagoon ribbon right now that comes out with a mini tomorrow. If you're not a demonstrator, you can start ordering tomorrow. I've been able to get a head start, and boy, have I enjoyed it. This one is just, did I do this one already? I guess this one doesn't have the green in it, but it's very similar to the other one. And then probably Berry Burst, maybe some Melon Mambo, a little bit of both, probably more Melon Mambo now that I'm looking at it, and of course white. And I think that is it. That's the 6 patterns, 12 by 12 paper. You get this free with a $60 order. How about we get to the cards? I'm going to flip down so you can see it. Do want to mention one more thing. I'm using the With You in Mind stamp set. This stamp set is inspired by a $1 million seller. I'd have to look in my catalog to see who it was. But again, if you liked layered leaves with the bold mixed font sentiments, you'll love this one too. So, okay, let's flip down so I can show you these cards. You're going to love these. I've got 2 fancy fold cards. I've got 1 regular card that I'm going to show you just so that you can see. I'm not going to be making it live. It's very, very simple. But, you know, when you do 2 fancy fold cards in a class, you have to do 2 simple cards to kind of balance it out. So I'm going to flip up to flip down. Stay with me, and don't forget to like my video and leave me a comment. Okay, so here we go, up to my beautiful ceiling. I may have to go, I'm thinking I may need to go up if I have to do some cutting or scoring. So, and I have my ruler nearby because I honestly do not remember all of my measurements because there are so many. And do you think I wrote it on a Post-it note? Well, that would be the smart thing. Let me show you just real quickly. This is my regular card. I'll get close so that you can see it. This is on Petunia Pop, and boy, do I love these colors. I almost feel like I didn't show you that pattern, but I did open the package, so I must have. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I use the, these are the Nested Essentials dies. And of course, Petunia Pop, this Fresh Freesia ribbon is a celebration item that you'll get enough to make your cards if you order this. These sequins here are also a celebration item. They're the purple adhesive backed sequins, and they come in 4 different patterns of purple. And because I don't have the card to make in front of you, I don't have it in front of me. But anyway, so that's that beautiful card. That's probably my favorite card, I have to say. Except for this one, which is also my favorite card. This is the Fancy Fold card. Isn't that so cute? It's a diagonal joy fold card. And I am going to show you how we're going to make it. I actually use 2 different patterns of paper on here. This, of course, right here, the back piece, and this piece right here is part of the Bloom Impressions paper. But this front piece here, because I didn't have another yellow to mix and match, is part of the delicate floral paper. This is this paper. It goes along with the Delightful Wishes stamp set and die bundle, and it's all yellows and greens and some pool party in there. And I just chose a pattern that was mostly yellow just for this. So let me show you how we make this card because it is extremely simple. You just have to be careful when you're cutting and cut it the right way. So I've got my paper cutter here. We're going to start with a regular Daffodil Delight card base. I'm going to show you the 3rd card as soon as I finish this one. So this card base, 5.5 by 8.5, you can see it's even been a little beat up on the edges. And you know what? I don't care because I'm going to be cutting that away. Isn't that cool? So if you have some that are dinged up in the corners, just make sure it ends up in the top right corner of your card and you're going to cut that away. It's an easy way to get rid of your problem child. Okay, I've got all my little pieces. I've die cut all these little pieces. Okay, so let's start with the card base. Like I said, we're going to cut this and we're going to make it a diagonal fold like this. It's going to open like this. And isn't that cool? what we need to do is put the top corner, the fold at the top, in our paper cutter track. And we are going to put the point, the bottom right corner, right down here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get more in the picture. I think that'll work. I'm putting this in my track. I'm putting the point in my track. Just keep wiggling it until you get it exactly in the track. If you're having trouble seeing your score line, now remember, I've already scored this at the 4 1/4. If you're having trouble seeing it, make it a little pencil tick mark up there, something you can erase and get rid of later. But I'm going to trust my instincts, and I'm going to cut on this diagonal, and voila, this piece is now a piece of scrap paper that I can use for something later. Probably cutting my many, many flowers using the Delightful Wishes stamp set. So here we go. That's our card base. I also need to cut my designer paper though. And I'm going to do it the same way. The top left to the bottom right. I'm going to put that in my track, just like that. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of paper that I'm going to exactly put in the track. The points exactly pointed in the track. If you don't do it right, you risk not being able to lay it out right on your card base either. Something sticky got on here, so that's why I'm having a little bit of trouble picking up and removing this, but it's not any big deal. Okay, so then the next thing I have to do is just put these pieces on. And what I'm going to do is just glue them right here to the bottom. I don't want to make a big mess, so I'm going to use my silicone mat here. Go like this. Just like that. I'm going to just give it an just about a 1/16 of an inch on all 3 sides there. So let me get my glue, which I just knocked over here, and we're going to glue that down. So simple. And then we just need to attach the other one to the inside. So make sure your leaves, if this is unidirectional, and mine is, actually I did say I wanted to leave a 1/16 on all 3 sides. Let me go down a tiny bit more. I'm going to wiggle that right down. There we go. Right down there. Perfect. There we go. There's my first piece, and the other piece that I cut is going to go here in the top right corner. And it doesn't matter that we're not going to see the rest, because we're actually going to cover this up with our mini card base. So we are going to put a mini card on top. So, but because this is open, I'm going to put this right here, just like that. I'm going to do it as carefully as I can so it's even. And then look at that. Isn't that so pretty when you open it up or close it? You're closing it. This is closed. Yep, I've got to figure this out. Now, I just realized, oh, yep, here it is. Okay, so here I have my mini card base. My mini card base is 8.5 inches wide by 3 inches. Would it be wide? It's 8.5 inches. Yes, the paper width is 8.5 inches, and it's 3 inches tall. Okay, I have a hard time with length versus height. Saying which is which. But anyway, I have scored my 8.5 inch piece by 3 inches at 4 1/4. So basically you're going to get 3 out of each sheet of paper that you score right down the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, I have 2 pieces of paper. One is a designer base, and this is what I was talking about. This is my beautiful, beautiful delicate floral paper. I really like this paper, and I love that it has the pool party in there. I have to make several samples for a swap that I'm in. See, I couldn't really do this much as I like this pattern. I really, really like this pattern, but I don't feel like it goes with that. It's because of the pool party. If it had maybe pumpkin pie instead of the pool party, it would be different, but that's why I chose this side. So I'm going to just glue this down to my front. And because my front is, remember, it's 4 1/4 by 3 inches, that makes this piece and my basic white, 2 3/4 inches wide by 4 inches tall. So looks just like a mini card, doesn't it? So that's cool. Now I'm going to have fun with this. Let's see how this is going to work. I am going to, first of all, stamp. Oh, I haven't finished yet. Where are my other pieces? I have here a die cut. This die cut is from the Something Fancy dies. We don't have many big dies, especially now that the deckled circles and the deckled rectangles are going. So I had a hard time finding a die that was going to fit the size of this stamp set. And I'm going to show you again. You can see these fonts are, and the size of these sentiments is really large and bold. So it was a hard time finding the right die cut for that. What I'm going to do is stamp thank you, because I'm going to show you the birthday one in a second. And here, don't forget, I've already used my best wishes, and I love the Petunia Pop in best wishes. Okay, this is my pumpkin pie stamp set. I have to show you something about the stamp set. I think that it has a little bit of an infection, and what I mean by that is, if you look at this, it's kind of disgusting. But I do have an open area here that's going to work just fine to stamp my sentiment. So this is my thank you in pumpkin pie. And I better sit up and do my stamping. There we go. Perfect. So that's all we need to do with that. And then I did try to stamp inside, and I didn't do a very good job. But if you're going to be worried about it, don't stamp inside. But I'll show you what I did. I'm using the Delightful Wishes stamp set to do just a little flower right here. And I'm going to stamp it in Daffodil Delight and Crushed Curry. And when I say that I didn't do a great job lining it up, I really did not do a great job lining it up. But there's two sides to my paper, so let's give it a try. I've got here my basic white, again, 2 3/4 by 4 inches. I had to think about that for a second. What I found easiest to do is when I'm going to stamp the outside, the darker, or the detail, I should say. The detail I'm going to stamp in the darker. And then the back, which is the solid image, I'm going to stamp in the lighter color. Now, Daffodil Delight is not terribly light, but it is lighter than Crushed Curry. So that's why I'm going to do it that way. I have found doing the detail works a tiny bit better than doing the light first and then trying to line up the dark. So let's see if that's going to work. I've got my stamp already mounted, and I have to tell you, when I put it on here, maybe I did it like this, I tried to line them up as closely as possible already. So I'm giving myself a head start, essentially. So I've already looked to see if they're going to line up. So I'm just going to stamp my Crushed Curry. This is like the daisy image down in the corner. And if I wanted to stamp a sentiment in here, I certainly could. First of all, I didn't have it in either stamp set to work with, but I do want to say it's a small card, so leave yourself room to actually say, spell out your wishes, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's see. This is the Daffodil Delight. I'm going to ink that up, and let me stand up, and I'm going to do my best. We'll see if it's going to line up. You know, and if it doesn't, no big deal. No big deal at all. No, it doesn't line up, but that's okay, because it's a watercolor stamp set, and I'm not going to worry about it. If you're going to be exact about lining this up, you're going to have a hard time with this stamp set, because also the die cuts don't exactly line up, I found. Unless I'm doing something wrong, which is entirely possible as well. Okay, I'm going to put this inside. Let me just glue this inside. I could have tried again, but you know what? I'm going to practice this and see if there actually is a trick to stamping. But my main focus today is the fancy fold and the designer paper. So I'm not really concentrating on Delightful Wishes. When I do my swap cards, I'll figure it out because it'll have to be good for that. And then we'll worry about it then. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do before I do my front of my mini card, I'm going to put this inside. And what I could have put it on a 4 by 5 1/4 if I wanted to, but you're not going to be writing on this anyway because it's going to be mostly covered up. So I wouldn't worry about wasting your piece of basic white if you don't want to. What I'm going to do is with my card open, I am going to center this. I'm going to center it top and bottom, left and right, just like that. And then you're going to see that when I do this, what's supposed to happen, look at that. My cut line ends up right at my score line just perfectly because I took the time to really center it. So there you go. I love it. Okay, what I'm going to do here is just at the bottom, pop up my sentiment. And then I have to show you a little bit more that I did with the Delightful Wishes die cuts. I did some leaves, and the leaves are double layered, and the flowers are double layered, just like the stamps are. Okay, I've got my sentiment popped up right there, just like that. Now let's get my die cut here. So I've already assembled my flower. Actually, I assembled 22 of these flowers and then decided I didn't want to do it for the particular swap I was trying to line it up with. It kind of lines up. It doesn't do a bad job. Not bad at all. You kind of just have to flip the top until you get it to match kind of your petals. So it's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. And like I said, maybe it's not quite right, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so it's cut with Daffodil Delight, Crushed Curry, and then Basic White on top. Let me use my adhesive eraser to get rid of some of my little sticky adhesive there. We don't have the adhesive eraser anymore, but you can get them on Amazon very easily, and you'll find out that it is invaluable. I did my detailed die cut on top of my green. So this is Granny Apple Green. This is Garden Green. I'm going to layer them on top. And then I want to tell you that one thing that I did was for these detailed die cuts, because I'm going to layer them and it's tiny little pieces, I actually cut them with adhesive paper. And you're going to find that that's very helpful when you have detailed die cuts. So I'm going to line up the point. And voila, that's all that took. So I did 2 large leaves and 1 small leaf for this because I kind of feel like I needed to have 3 leaves. So let me see if I can line this up again, just like this. You can see how easy it is to line it up. And if you don't like the way you laid it down, it actually can be lifted up and moved with the adhesive paper. It's not the end-all be-all and then you're stuck with a mess that you don't like, just to let you know. I've been able to successfully relocate my die cuts without a problem. See, right here you see that my end is going to go that way. I can move it over just like that very easily. Okay. So when I did this one, I'm not sure. Do you like it with more light green at the top or more dark green? I'm actually going to switch this one up and see if I like it better. I'm going to do it like this with the light green over top of the dark green. Less, I guess what I'm trying to say is less of the light green showing this time. And when I'm putting it on here, I'm going to use my dimensionals to hold this. And what better way to use your dimensionals than to use your edges? So let me show you what I mean. I've got my paper snips here. These edges are really, if you do a nice long strip, it's a good way to hold that in place right across, just like that. And hopefully that's right where I want it to be. And then this one, I'm going to try it over here. I'll do that with a regular dimensional. Just like that. And let's me do one more regular dimensional right over here on the other side of the flower. And let's see if this is where I want this to be. Oh, let me peel this off. There we go. Yeah, not terrible. We'll put it like this, just like that. And voila, your card is done. Isn't that so cool? So nice and easy. It really isn't a difficult card. As long as you make the cut from the fold in the top to the bottom right, and do the same thing with the designer paper, and just do very carefully line everything up, you're going to be fine. Okay, so that is card number 1. Let me show you my fancy fold card number 2. And again, this is probably one of my favorites again. Can you tell that I have a hard time picking favorites? Because I really, really do. Okay, let me move this out of the way. This is my second card right here. Love it. I really do. The Blackberry Bliss just makes this pop. And like I said, these look like lilacs here. It is so pretty. Let's bring in my card base right here. And let's make this card. Now, I'm going to give you an option. Right now, I used my floral pattern in the back, and it's really kind of hidden. Yep, I got a splooch there. For the most part, my ink eraser got rid of it. Not quite, but I'll just make sure I sign right there. But isn't that so pretty? Okay, so let's make this card. I've already scored it, but I'm gonna fold it with you. This is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock, Blackberry Bliss cardstock. The very last piece I have. Can you believe it? I've got more coming tomorrow, but won't help me for prepping for my card class tonight. But I promise by the end of the week, we're going to be good with our Blackberry Bliss. So this 4 1/4 by 11 inches, I scored it right in half at 5 1/2 inches. Now, if I'm scoring it in half at 5 1/2 inches, and I can show you with my scoreboard. Let's just show you with my scoreboard so you see what I'm talking about. I'm going to do it like this. So my 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece, I'm going to score at 5 1/2 inches. Then what I'm going to do is flip it, and I'm going to score again at 2 3/4. And the reason I want to do that is because don't forget, this bump, this mountain, this monkey, as I call it, you know how you used to play monkey in the middle? That's how I remember, mountain in the middle. You're going to make sure that that's on the inside of your fold. And when I am doing my scoring, I usually do a full piece of paper. So it's going to be 8 1/2 by 11 inches. And then I'd score right down the middle at 5 1/2, flip it over, and then do 2 3/4. And then I cut it in half at 4 1/4. Saves me some time with my scoring. So just a little tip if you want to save some time and if you're making more than one card. And I would recommend that you do make more than one card because you're going to have one card to send and one card to save. Then you can make more cards, and in the future, you'll know exactly what you did. Okay, so I'm going to score my Blackberry Bliss cardstock. I have to tell you something. I think that the Blackberry Bliss is probably the stiffest cardstock that we have, and I think it's because it's so saturated with color. It's even stiffer than the basic black. I don't know why, but it is. See, it's really tough for me to fold this. So I burnish my edge just like that, and I can put my bone folder away because I don't need it anymore for any more scoring. I have here 2 layers, again, of Blackberry Bliss. And these layers, I can't remember. I think they're 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. Let's see if I'm right. Yep, 4 1/2 by 3 1/4, which makes these basic white pieces, which are going to go on top of them. So you need 2 of the 4 1/2 by 3 1/4, and you need 2 of the basic white, which are going to be, and you could do, I suppose, a designer paper or whatever instead of the white. But I chose to stamp both of my layers. You'll see I stamped the cupcake inside, and that's part of this With You in Mind stamp set. And then I did the flowers up here, and this is part of the Delightful Wishes, because I think the Delightful Wishes flowers are very similar to the paper, the Sale-a-bration paper. So you can do either the yellow paper or the Sale-a-bration paper while we have it. But don't forget, you need a $60 order to get anything now. Prices went up for everybody. Okay, so this paper to layer on the 4 1/2 by 3 1/4 is going to be 4 by 2 3/4, a 1/4 inch less length and width. Okay, let's stamp this. Actually, let's do our card base first. So here on this card, you'll see that I did the floral, and it really gets pretty covered up. Oh, I see some adhesive splooge. Let's get rid of that. See, that's how easy it is to get rid of adhesive when you make a little boo-boo. Okay, this time I'm going to switch it up. I am going to instead put the muted sky on the inside, just like that. I don't know how it's going to look, but this is going to show you that you can do either way. And the only reason that works, I have to say, is because this paper, I'm using the front and the back of the same paper. So let's do that. We're going to put that right here. So thank you for everybody joining me. I'm having so much fun. I announced my retreat this week in my email. My retreat is going to be February 8th. I've already had a ton of people sign up, so obviously people are very excited about this. So don't miss your chance to sign up. February 8th at the Center Congregational Church in Lynnfield, Massachusetts. We have a basement. It's a beautiful room. I've used it for about 3 years now. It's bright, it's cheery, it's got electrical, it's got an elevator to get to that room. It's got a beautiful kitchen, and we always cook our food and always get rave reviews about our food. I'm not saying that I'm the best cook, but I do okay, especially for casseroles. But I always have lots of help from my team and extended team, I should say, because some of my team members are actually sisters, stamping sisters rather than stamping daughters. Look at that. I like that. I think I like that better, but let's see how it's going to work. Okay, so I've got my basic white pieces here. And you know, when I stamped before, where did I put that now? I had the, I moved it out of the way. Well, it doesn't matter. You know what? This time, because I can't find my silicone mat that I just had, we'll stamp right on my stamping mat. So here we go. But if you're going to stamp on your stamping mat, make sure you protect it, even though you can wash it off. I have been able to successfully wash it off. I am going to stamp my flowers first, before I stamp my happy birthday. Once again, we're going to do the same thing as we did with this flower inside, where we stamped the dark first and then the light. I'm going to do that this time. I'm going to stamp the detail with Blackberry Bliss, and my inside is going to be Petunia Pop, and that really, really seemed to work. Okay, so Petunia Pop is my solid. This one is my other one. So this is my detail, and because I have to fit my happy birthday, I kind of have to go off the edge here. So let's do that just like that. Kind of cool. You have no idea what's coming, right? It's like an watching somebody paint on TV. You know, they start and they make these lines, and then all of a sudden the picture appears. Well, our picture is going to appear with these. Actually, let me just put this off to the side and hopefully not put my hand in it, because I'm going to stamp my happy birthday in just a second. But first, we're going to stamp our Petunia Pop with the solid, and hopefully I can do what I did when I laid it out. It's going to be pretty close to that. If I did it that way, did I do it that way or did I stamp it that way? Nope, I stamped it that way, which means I have to turn this one. Okay, let's see how it's going to work. See, because I don't know if you can see or not, but because I have the dark there already, I kind of have an idea. And this one I can see is not going to line up perfectly. Oh well, it still looks beautiful, but I was starting to get shaky at the end as my hand lowered. Maybe this one would work because there's a lot more detail missing in the detail stamp. You could try, let's try it for the fun of it. Let's try instead stamping this part first, and then we'll do the detail on top. You have to figure out what's going to work best for you. So we'll do it just like that. And then let's see, I can put my Petunia Pop away because I'm done with that. I am going to clean it though. Got my chamois here. Let's try again the detail now. And let's see, I can lay it down and kind of figure out, is this going to work? Yeah, I can see that I can line it up pretty well. Once again, I may not be perfect. And you know what they say, that's how you know a handmade card, if it's not perfect. So I'm looking at different corners and edges and hoping for the best. Much better. Okay, so for this one, it actually worked to do the light and then the dark. Funny how that worked. Okay, now all I have to do is stamp my happy birthday. We really are almost done with this card. I'm going to stamp my happy birthday, and I just realized I forgot my, I don't remember if I'll have to look inside my card. I can't remember if my cupcake was Petunia Pop or Blackberry Bliss. I just love this. Isn't that so pretty? I'm telling you, this paper, I think this paper is going to go fast because there's not a bad pattern in there. Okay, and then I still want to stamp, oh, I did Petunia Pop. Let's do Blackberry Bliss just for the fun of it this time. Since my Blackberry Bliss is out, I'm going to stamp my cupcake on my other piece of basic white. And this, again, 2 3/4 by 4 to layer on top of the Blackberry Bliss that's 3 inches by 4.5 inches. I was able to get 5 out of 1 sheet of paper. Oh, got a hair there. Do that there. Oh, I think I like that better. Looks like a black raspberry cupcake. And I don't know about you, but black raspberry is one of my favorites, especially when it comes to ice cream. Okay, let's just very quickly attach these 2 layers and then attach it to our card. So I'm going to do the side I liked and put that on my first layer. This is going to be my front. And then I added some dots, and these are the transparent adhesive back dots that I used, and I don't think I brought them to the table, so they must be still on my table where I was creating my cards. This is my inside. So I'm going to go grab them real quick. Beautiful. It's stunning with the Blackberry Bliss, isn't it? It really is a great, great color. So bold that there's no taking it back, you know? Let's see. Here we have the transparent adhesive back dots. I would say that these are white, probably lemon lime twist, garden green, and these are definitely Blackberry Bliss. So I went through all of my packages, and I have these little envelopes that I picked up on Amazon. I'll show you the next time. Actually, maybe I'll show you now. These little envelopes. Nope, have to show you the next time. It's not on the table. But anyway, I had these little envelopes with these Velcro tabs, and I can stack these perfectly in this holder, these drawers that I picked up from Home Goods. It's like 2 drawers high, and I can stack these, and I can flip through, and I can find the colors I'm looking for. Okay, let's just get our thing. What I'm going to do is, because we like to do it in 3s, I'll do a big one, I'll do a small one over here, and I'm going to do one more. Well, in this case, I'm going to do a small one down here because there's not as much room. Could have done it on the eye too. I really like doing that once in a while. Just a little surprise, putting a small embellishment right on the eye. But okay, so let's attach this. This is the final thing that we have to do. We're going to do our cupcake inside. You guys are going to have to tell me what you like best, even though you can ultimately decide yourselves. Maybe you don't even like Blackberry Bliss. But I want to see, when I finish this, which layer you like. What I'm going to do is just attach, add adhesive to less than 1/2. I really don't want to, well, yeah, I'll do it to 1/2. Just be careful, because if you do it over that half imaginary line, you're going to glue your card shut, and you don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do, and because they're both Blackberry Bliss, I can kind of layer this, and I'm going to move it around until I have it right where I want it. There we go. And then, ta-da, this is my Z-fold card. So easy, so fun. Okay, now tell me, which one do you like better? Do you like it with the floral behind and the muted sky on the front, or do you like the floral in the front and the muted sky? You know what I'm going to say. This is my favorite. I really like the floral in front. It's really nice because you can see the whole pattern. Why cover that up when it's that beautiful, right? Okay, so we've got this, just like that. We've got this card in yellows. We've got this one in our Petunia Pop. And the last card is going to be Melon Mambo with, I think it's actually going to be Melon Mambo with Shy Shamrock, but I haven't finished and I haven't figured it out. I'm going to flip back. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Let's see. Let me flip back. There we go. I'm so glad to see you guys. I had a good time. My thing is not going to stay, but I had a great time. Go to my blog, Stamping with Jeannie, in the next couple of days, and I'll have the directions for those if you want to just have a quick tutorial. So I will see you next week. Next week I'm not working Monday either, so I'll see you next week and we'll do something fun. Have a great day and make sure you keep stamping. And send those cards. Bye.